Whether you are watching live or archived, we need your help to keep fun going. You can subscribe to First Updates now on Twitch, give bits, or make a donation. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description on how you can help fun.
So I think we're going to move on to the Chicago Robotics Invitational. And for Philip in the chat, yes, I do have a lot of mixed merch on. Disposable Thumbs hat, my Kraken Pinion shirt, and then I will give something. Maybe I'll send you a small copy of the flag I'm wearing if you can tell me in chat what the never mind, I screwed that up. I'm wearing a Chicago flag. I was going to ask you to tell me what flag this is. All right, so if we go to CRI, some of the cool things about this are the new rules. I screwed up and didn't give Tyler a link to where the new rules are. So if you can give me, Tyler, if you go to fwparker.org/robotics, there is I'll just let that happen.
Field diagram?
If you go to Chicago Robotics Invitational at the top, then there's something that says Field and Rules. There we go. So if we go down to the Field and Rules, if we scroll down to the diagram of the field, so what happened at the Chicago Robotics Invitational is that we extended the field by 4 feet this way. So that allowed us to add a second crypto box on the back per alliance, as you guys can see. And then we also added a balancing stone in the center of the glyph pit. So the glyph pit was expanded by a lot because of the 4 feet extension of the field. So there's a balancing stone in there. If you ended up parked on the balancing stone during a match, you got 40 points. Though one of the fun things that we saw is that there was a lot of teams that recognized that that was a 40-point advantage. So there was a lot of fights for the balancing stone, a lot of teams who would end their match purposely tipping it down so that the robot parked could not park there. Great strategy, great defense. Another cool thing that happened is 1 foot outside of the playing wall, straddling the two relic mats, you'll see a yellow dot on the diagram. That was a relic. There was what we called the naked relic outside of the playing field. So how that worked is if an alliance got 2 ciphers, they could go and grab the naked relic, or if you reached endgame, you could go grab the naked relic. So that was pretty fun to see. Yes, I think a lot of people liked the rules. I don't really know.
The other thing is the matches were extended by a minute, so they were 3 minutes long, and then endgame was 45 seconds long instead of the normal 30.
Yep. Yep. I forgot about that. Thanks, Ethan. So yeah, I think we're gonna move on. One other thing I forgot to mention is there was live scoring. You'll see live scoring throughout the matches that we're going to be showing. There was a lot of really cool things. So I think what we're going to be showing now is an interview that Tyler and I did with 10091 Nyan Robotics. So here's their Behind the Bot.
This is Nathan reporting for FTC Live from the Chicago Robotics Invitational. I'm here with 10091 Nyan Robotics. Guys, do you want to tell me about your relic arm?
Yeah, so our relic arm is actually pretty unique as it can fold out in half a rotation of the motor. And it's called a chain bar mechanism, where it uses these chains to rotate the arm. And it also has a servo that flips out the rest of the arm, so we can get the full extension and reach all the way out to the third zone.
I have one CRI-related question. Do you guys think you can get the naked relic that's 1 foot outside of the wall with this?
Yes, we've actually gotten it a few times in practice. We were practicing with Kraken Pinion yesterday, and we got it about 3 times it was pretty easily as well.
All right, that's pretty cool. Another thing you guys are really proud of on your robot is your camera over on the other side. Do you guys want to tell me about that?
Sure. So we have a multi-block autonomous, and for our multi-block, we've decided instead of opting for traditional sensors, we'd use a phone camera. So the phone camera actually swivels out like this, comes all the way to the front of the robot, and it can scan the crypto box using our own algorithm that takes the raw camera data. And using this information, it'll actually turn and orient itself right in the crypto box, so it always gets the 2 extra blocks.
Nice. And do you guys want to tell me about your intake and flipper?
Our intake may not seem unique because of these compliant wheels, which basically everyone has, but it's actually very unique because we have a unique spring system and alignment system with these bars here. So basically a block will go in, and and these springs and the compliant wheels will adjust to the size of the block or the angle of the block, and then realign. And then if it's at a diagonal, it can also realign using these.
And one last question. What are all these switches here on your robot? I see a self-destruct button and some other more game-related things.
We have these switches so we can configure our autonomous on the fly. As you can see, we have our single block or multi-block switch, different stone switches, and all these help just streamline our autonomous setup process.
Nice. All right, good luck today, guys.
So thank you to myself, the awesome interviewer, for that. All right, I think we're going to move on. We're going to look at match 21.
How about a thanks for the camera guy, by the way?
Thanks to the camera guy.
I think the camera guy is a crowd favorite.
The camera guy did drive like over 2 hours to come to the event, so thank you to him. So I think we're going to move on and go to match 21 from CRI. Match 21 was 9790 veer left and 99999 turbocharged on the Red Alliance. Oh, I can't remember. Versus 10127 Tesla's Knights and 12682 the Golden Ratio. So this was one of the higher scoring matches at CRI, not the highest scoring. KP got the high score, but we'll talk about them in the finals and later. So I didn't want to show this, but I thought this match was pretty cool. As we'll see in the end when we get there, this was one of the few matches where there were 3 relics standing. So as we can see, 9790 had an awesome auto. It was actually super perfect and always accurate. 99999 also had a very accurate audio. It's hard to see what's going on in the other alliance, but Tesla's Knights was a pretty good robot. The Golden Ratio had a little bit of trouble kind of getting going and starting things, and they didn't really do so well the entire day, but they had a great successful season. So as we're moving out of auto, we're going to see these teams head to the Glyph Pit. Kind of cool if you look at the back 2 robots, 99999 and 10127. Both of them have claws that are rotating claws, and it looks like Golden Ratio has that as well. So there's 3 rotating claw bots, which was kind of, I thought, like the second most popular kind of robot in this tournament. Then we have 1 pass-through bot. Ethan, Arjun, you guys have anything to point out? Anything to say?
I don't have a whole lot. It was interesting to see the rotating clawbot was kind of one of the ideas we had fairly early on, and didn't love it because it wasn't a pass through. But it is really cool to see all of the teams who went about and did really well with it.
Yeah, I also
one time at the beginning of our season, Delaware meet, we had one and we could only get 3 glyphs.
Ouch.
In a whole match, and that was including our auto glyph.
I mean, the teams here did incredibly well. I mean, I think we're going to see 99999, Cypher, and Tesla's Knights might be ciphering. I can't remember. They do look a little slower back in the right corner. I think they only have 3 in that crypto box, whereas 99999 has like 6 in there. So right now, 99999 is waiting for turbocharged. No, sorry, is waiting for veer left to finish that cipher. We're going to see that happen. Not quite yet because they had a block flip out. Veer left actually had an issue with that. It happened during finals 2, which is we're going to watch in a second, where they couldn't really get things going with that flipper. But yeah, so 99999 has a great relic arm. They are going to do most of the relics in this match. As we can see, they're going for that second relic. I think we're nearing endgame momentarily. Not totally sure. But they had a very unique... Oh, yep. Now we're in endgame. Yep. So this is what we're going to see. So we're going to see them go slide over. That mechanism was great. Actually, I loved that a lot. And boom, they're just going to grab it. Most other teams had issues with this. Sorry to call them out, but KP had a huge issue with this, where with their arm, they just couldn't get under it. So their whole strategy, which we'll see in finals 2, was to knock it over and then kind of bend their arm down and slide the relic over on the ground. They could not grab a standing naked relic.
And at this point, you can see that Blue Alliance has 2 ciphers, while Red Alliance does not have 2 ciphers, and Blue Alliance has all 3 relics. So from here, it was pretty obvious that they won the match. And match score was 698 to 273.
And right at the end, 99999 was on the middle balancing stone. So they had that. I kind of think of that as the quintessential CRI match because they got the naked relic and the neutral balancing stone. So moving on, I have a little story about 99999 turbocharged and the team that they spun off from. I'm not really going to go in depth about this because it's not my place to, but long story short, Oswego Robotics, 10.266 Mach speed, had some issues amongst their team. I don't really know to the extent of the issues, but then part of that team branched off and formed Turbocharged, and since they had just competed, Turbocharged basically rebuilt Mach Speed's robot, but made it better. They made it quicker. They really iterated based off what happened. So it was very interesting to see them in this match that we're about to show. I think it was match 23, if I'm correct. So these teams faced off against each other. So you'll see 99999 at the top right and 10266 in the bottom left. If you look closely at the robots, they're pretty much the exact same, except one was all red, the other didn't really have much of a color theme. They're pretty much the exact same robots down to the 3D printed relic that is sitting on the right side of every single one of those, both of those robots. So we're going to see in a few seconds, I believe, both of the teams go for a relic, and then we'll see their little 3D printed relics. You can see that on Turbocharged, and you can sort of see that on Mach Speed.
It's interesting. As somebody who's sat across the field from a team he used to be on, it's a weird experience. Because you're like, oh, I know those guys. I have spent countless hours with them, and now they're over there.
Yeah. It was a pretty interesting match. I didn't even know that they faced off against each other until someone pointed it out to me. But I thought I'd point that out on stream. So I think we're going to go ahead with our giveaway.
So yeah, our giveaway is starting now. And make sure to type MAGIC into the chat. So that's MAGIC into the chat to enter the giveaway in order to win our First Tech Challenge 9794 Wizards.exe t-shirt. And don't forget that if you have to have a follow, and if you follow this, help support the stream with a subscription, you're going to get a 5x chance to win. And we'll draw in a few minutes, so good luck, everyone.
So we're going to move on to another really cool CRI match. That was Finals 2 with 8680 Kraken Pinion, 10919 Robotics, and 12043 Power Surge on the Red Alliance, and 99999 Turbocharged, 9790 the NAC, and 12835 on the Blue Alliance. So if we want to start and play this match, I think let's let it play out. There were some really interesting things that happened, especially in the last kind of minute and a half of this match. So, yeah, Ethan.
Oh, you can go.
Yeah, so we're going to start out with a pretty typical auto for KP. Actually, Tyler, if we want to pause it right there for a sec. If we can go back about 3 seconds to about 3, so if we want to hit play. Something I noticed in rewatching this match is right there, boom, or about a second ago, it's all good. Kraken Pinion had 3 glyphs in their intake at one point for about 3 seconds. They didn't get a penalty, it's all good. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. It would have been bad if they had that and then ended up scoring, because that would have been a double major. But if we want to continue watching this, KP had an awesome autonomous because they consistently had many glyphs in it, in a consistent multi-glyph. Right now they're going to score their 5th for this match. Something I forgot to mention is there was an optional 3rd preloaded glyph that you can have. So KP started every single match with 2 glyphs in their intake and their alliance partner with 1. If you didn't want that 3rd glyph, you didn't have to have it. It was totally optional for the alliance. So as we enter our tally-up period, all of our robots are all cipher bots. They're all going, all filling crypto boxes. Notably, KP is just doing it extremely fast. Their partner, though, Power Surge wasn't as fast as Nyan. So we'll see if that presents some issues as we let this play on.
You can see more of those rotating kind of clawbots ended up doing really well, and one of the advantages of them is you can grab any two glyphs and flip them around to fit the cipher. So they can end up being sometimes just a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Especially, they're nice, especially if you don't get the pattern correct in the initial grabbing. You can then flip them around and figure that out. Or as we're going to see Power Surge do right now, they can go and pick and place exactly what glyph they want where.
Yeah, and those help just because you don't have to have 4 different orientations of having 2 glyphs, only 3. Either double gray, double brown, or alternating. You don't need to pick up gray brown or brown gray. Which, yeah.
You had one this season, so you would know.
Yeah.
So I think what I want to talk about is about to happen. Yes, it's about to happen right now. So as we're seeing in the top left, we're seeing Turbocharged going and grab that relic. That's a perfect strategy. They're going to get that. So let's wait, but then I'm going to want Tyler to pause this after they get that relic out and then park. Let's leave it for another 5 seconds. So pause it right now. So this is what Turbocharged does, and I don't understand this. Turbocharged stays there for another 45 seconds, I guess, is what ended up happening. They're waiting for that second cipher to be finished. And in a perfect world, the NAC would have finished that cipher quicker and they would have gotten it done, but the NAC couldn't really pull it together. And they had some issues filling that crypto box. So what Turbocharged sits and waits. They wait for 45 seconds for their partner to finish the crypto box, and they didn't do that. Oh, veer left, sorry. Oh, I put the wrong team down. Thank you to Jack. They were partnered with veer left, not the NAC. My bad. So what we're going to see them do is wait 45 seconds for veer left to fill the crypto box. They had the same issue that they had earlier in the match that we were watching, where they couldn't get that top glyph up, and it kept falling out, kept falling out, kept falling out. So if we continue watching this match, they're going to sit there and sit there and sit there. And if we go look over at the Red Alliance, KP and their alliance is nowhere near finishing. Well, they're sort of near finishing a second cipher, but Power Surge is working on that cipher, and KP hasn't gone near that. So the Blue Alliance has time to not send one of their robots right there. It might not have made a difference, but I think the Blue Alliance should have abandoned at least the naked route for now and gone back and gotten that cipher. As we can see, veer left dropped another set of glyphs. They're like, this is the second or third time that they've gone over to try to fill that second part of the box. So what we're going to see very sneakily and very awesomely right now is KP finishes that, and they go right over and they do what they did every other match. They knock that neutral relic down. And Turbocharge can no longer grab that relic because they have no way of picking it off the ground.
Yeah.
That was definitely an LOL. That was a big troll right there. And that just lost Blue Alliance the match. Blue Alliance should have kept their robots trying to finish those ciphers. It seemed like a great idea at the start, but KP is just so quick with those ciphers that you got to try to finish your 2 first to get that naked relic instead of just kind of waiting for it to happen. The Blue Alliance ended up winning by a bunch, and it might not have made a difference if they would have gone back and finished that cipher. Red Alliance won by a bunch, and it might not have made a difference.
Yeah.
But still, the Blue Alliance had a slight chance if they would have chosen a different strategy.
Yeah, the score was 877 to 341 with the Red Alliance winning.
And the Red Alliance didn't even get a neutral park, and they didn't get a third relic score, which is, I don't remember what the soft cap for CRI was, but I think it was just about 1,000. I think it was like just under 900. So if we're gonna see something kind of cool happen that's unique to CRIs. That right there, we have a Blue Alliance robot parked in the center platform, but KP will not let them park there, and they're going up, and KP is now basically taken over the bouncing stone. No alliance ended up balanced on that stone, but Kraken Pinion completely overpowered, which was kind of fun, kind of funny to see. So Kraken Pinion won both of those fights for that neutral balancing stone and the neutral relic.
It is really interesting, and it's not something we see. I'm trying to think if we've ever seen something like that in FTC. It's really like actively pushing robots against each other. I know it's happened early years of FRC, but it first really is kind of strayed away from that, I assume, for fear of robots breaking each other. But it was really cool to see that kind of show up and see kind of the raw pushing power of some of these robots. Yeah.
So we have one more. Actually, we have two more interviews to show you tonight. One's going to happen right after we sign off. We want to show you an interview that Tyler and I did with 8680 Kraken Pinion. So here is their. Whoop! I'll wait a moment. Yeah, the CRI matches were really great. We're definitely going to host it next year. So if you guys want to come to CRI, make sure that you guys apply early and get on that train when once we put the date out, which should be around February. We're going to have everything that we had this year, live scoring. We'll have banners again. We'll have awards, which we'll talk about in a few moments. And it'll be just as fun. I'm hoping that we can expand the event to 36 teams. If we have a large number of teams, we might expand it to a day-and-a-half event. And we're just going to do it in a bigger capacity at my school.
Yeah, for sure. Something that you noticed that you mentioned, Nathan, was that Kraken Pinion couldn't get that center relic, that naked relic.
Yeah.
And that was kind of how they designed their claw to push the relic up against the wall, which was a lot of really successful teams did. So they could push the relic up against the wall and make sure it didn't fall over and then grab it.
Yeah, and that's what was hard about the CRI. I purposely took away the wall.
Yeah.
It's a skills challenge when it comes to that, or a creativity challenge. All right, let's cue up that 8680 Kraken Pinion interview.
Hey guys, this is Nathan for FTC Live at the Chicago Robotics Invitational. I'm here with 8680 Kraken Pinion. This is Josh. This is Julian. So Josh, you said that you really like your intake. Do you want to tell us about that?
I do. So our intake has gone through a lot of iterations this season with many different types of wheels, and we find that this configuration allows it to be insanely reliable and allows us to essentially just gobble up glyphs like no other robot can.
That's pretty cool. All right, Julian, you said you really like your relic arm, so do you want to tell us why it's special, what's so cool about it?
Well, one thing that's special about it is how it grabs the relic from the side instead of the instead of the top of the relic. This allows us to grab it from multiple angles and more consistently. Also, the relic arm is fast because we used a 3.7-to-1 motor on it, which was the fastest one we had. So it's both fast, it can grab at a bunch of different angles, and it's very reliable.
Nice. There's one other thing that I really like about your bot that I want to ask you guys about. How did you guys come to using field-centric driving? So I was driving it yesterday. It was pretty hard to drive, but I see that you guys are pretty amazing at it. You guys just had 3 ciphers in a match. Do you want to tell us about your code and how you guys programmed that?
All right. So what we basically did, first of all, we have mecanum wheels, which allow us to drive in any direction. So what we do is drive them in 2 diagonal pairs, and then we can control the mecanum wheels using a vector, basically give it a heading and a power, and it'll drive in that direction. So what we do is we have a gyro in the rev expansion hub, and we subtract out the gyro angle from the heading, and that gives us field-centric driving, as in you push the joystick and the robot will move the same direction no matter which way it faces.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Good luck today.
All right, so we're going to move on and talk about some of the awards at the Chicago Robotics Invitational. So if we want to throw the awards up on the screen, maybe if there's a picture, I don't know if it's easy to grab. Yeah, so we had some fun awards at CRI. So some of them, one of the awards was the Amazingly Accurate Autonomous Award, which went to the team with the best auto. Kind of straightforward, in my opinion. So the winner of that ended up being 7129 Robo Raiders. Actually, before I continue, I'll just let everyone know how picking for awards went. There were 2 mentors that were tasked with figuring out who should win what awards. So it's not the best process in the world. Next year, I'm hoping to get some of the Illinois judges to come and try to do a little, still keep it informal where they're kind of just watching out, but a little more formal where there's people dedicated completely to awards. But yeah, so my mentors kind of were on the lookout. The volunteer staff was kind of polled on what teams were doing great and operating in a fun capacity. So nothing super formal. There's no money tied to the CRI awards, unlike the MTI awards, so it's pretty low stakes. So the Amazingly Accurate Autonomous Award went to 7129, the Robo Raiders. Then we had a Crypto King Award for fast filling of the crypto box and consistent filling of the crypto box. And not surprisingly, that award went to 8680 Kraken Pinion. We had a World Traveler Award. That was for the team that traveled the most miles, most drive miles, which ended up going to 10129 Tesla's Knights. That was from North Kansas City. I think they had like 512 miles to drive. Then another award we had was the Relic Raider Award for consistent relic and consistent and fast relic placing, which ended up going to 9956 the Knack. Then we had a COTS Award that went to a team who used commercial off-the-shelf parts in a way to build an awesome robot, to build a well-designed bot. And that award ended up going to 12682, the golden ratio. We gave out another award that was the Cool Custom Award. That was similar to the COTS Award, went to teams that used custom parts in an awesome way, and that ended up going to 4106 Supposable Thumbs. Supposable Thumbs had a pretty cool robot. The drivetrain of the robot actually only took up 12 inches, and they did have mechanism, and then the other 6 inches of their bot was a up and down twisting claw, which was really cool. The last award was the Spirit Award that ended up going to 12043 Power Surge. That award was given to a team that was spirited, cheering on their own team, cheering on other teams, and was just having a general fun and positive time at Chicago Robotics Invitational. Lastly, we gave out 5 volunteer awards to some awesome CRI volunteers and Illinois volunteers that help make events great. I'll just mention them by name. Those awards went to Jacob Burrows, who was the field manager, Josh Anders, who was the FTA, Kat Savoda, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I feel so bad, who was our head ref, Corey Bounds, who was the game announcer, and Ryan Campus, who was our MC for the event.
And if I could take just a second, the MCs and game announcers for CRI were incredible. They were just awesome. Yeah.
The MCs.
For those of you who don't know who Corey is, the game announcer, she was a game announcer on Einstein this year for FRC. So she is an incredible person. And for those who are in FRC, make sure you check her out. She'll be at the Rock River off-season event this next weekend, Rock Fair, that will be airing on First Updates now as well.
Yep, she was also the voice of God at Worlds for the last 2 years. So she does voice of God, does all the commentary, all of the introductions and commentary before and after matches. That's Corey right there on the screen, her and her skirt.
Yes.
So I think that's really it. Ethan?
Yeah.
Let's do the giveaway. So I think let's roll with our giveaway. I think you guys have had a lot of time to type magic into the chat. Let's see who's won. Josh 8680 from Crack and Pinion.
It would be great for him to win, except he's not following the channel, and therefore you are not eligible to win. Time to re-roll. Sorry.
Come on, Josh.
Oh, snap. Yes, it's going to go to Mag Flake, the person who wants to ban everybody. Instead, they are actually the winners of it. So congratulations to Mag Flake. You have to follow or subscribe. We've said that many times. Sorry about that.
That's the second time in a row it's happened, guys. You got to follow. You got to follow. There you go, Philip. Congratulations. Ethan? 3 thumbs up for that.
3 thumbs up. Okay. So thank you for all the follows and subscriptions we received today, or didn't. Don't forget that you can subscribe for free if you or your parents have Amazon Prime. Thank you for keeping FTC Live real. If you want to stay connected with what FTC Live is doing, follow us on Twitter at LiveFTC, on Facebook at facebook.com/FTC Live, and join our Discord through the link in the chat. Tyler, can you read off who's pledged their support during the stream?
Well, like you said, some people didn't, but those who did, we definitely do appreciate it. I'm sorry, we'll give you a hard time for that, but yep, gotta make sure you follow and subscribe. Let me bring this up here. So yeah, we actually had a few since our last stream on here. CMC Bride 166, Surgeant FTC with their Prime sub, Blue Revolt 7 with the Prime sub, and FTC Live Ethan with their Prime sub as well too. So thank you guys. We need more and more to keep making shows like this possible. It everything we do right now we put back into making content on First Updates Now, so we appreciate your support. If you can't give me anything, that's okay. Just tell other people to watch the show. That's what you can do for free. If somebody earlier said, hey, I don't have Prime, I don't know my login or something like that, you know what? That's okay. We understand everybody can give, but how you can give is by giving your time and telling other people to come and watch this. Get on the FTC Discord, get on the different Reddits and that sort of thing, and get people to come and watch. That's how we continue to grow, and we'll get bigger people. If you missed Greg Nadell in our last show, we had a huge turnout for that. We plan on having some people who designed the game Field later on for different shows, so lots of big stuff coming. I know it's summer and a little bit of a lull, but we got a lot of great stuff coming, so please, please, please tell people about it. Tell them to come watch FTC Live and First Updates Now.
Yep. Ed, I'll just add to that. If you guys, some of you might not know this, but we don't get paid to do this. Tyler, I don't really think pays himself to do this. We all do this because we love robotics, because we love FTC. So any support that you guys can give us is amazing, because it helps run the shows and helps everything run so smoothly. And with that, one last thing I was going to mention, or two more things I was going to mention. If you would like to be what I'm going to be calling a brand ambassador for FTC Live, reach out to us on social media or Discord. We would love for people at off-season events, at events that they go to this year, and specifically at kickoff, to hand out flyers, maybe hand out business cards if I can get those made in time, and kind of start talking about FTC Live and letting people know what we do here and how much the show can help. Second thing I was going to talk about is 8581 Edificatoris has a off-season event that they are hosting, the KSS Invitational. You can just search KSS Invitational in Google, and I think that their website comes up in a few weeks, August something. I'll pull up the date in a second. They really would love teams to go there. I think they're going to try to live stream it. They might be doing some live scoring if I can get that worked out with them. So it'd be really awesome if we can get more. It's on August 11th, so it would be really awesome if we could get more teams there. The competition is in Ohio, so check that out. And if you guys can go. It'd be really cool. So lastly, on behalf of myself, Ethan, Arjun, and our producer Tyler, working behind the scenes, I would like to thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode of FTC Live. To stay up to date, join the FTC Live or First Updates Now Discord channel. The links are in the chat. Check us out on social media under at Live FTC on Twitter, or at FTC Live on Facebook, or check out First Updates Now on Facebook and Twitter. And by the way, all the fun shows are listed below on the Twitch page, so check those out. Thank you guys for watching FTC Live. Stick around for a few minutes as we have one more Behind the Bot from 10:37 Sigma to show. Good night.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye.
Hi, I'm Ishan again for FTC Live, and right now we got Team 10030 7 Sigma, who was the 4th Alliance captain for the MTI. And here I've got Andrew, Tassos, John, and Austin, and they're going to tell me a little bit about their robot. So I've seen your robot. You have this crazy gimbal setup for your camera. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. So, really the main purpose of the camera mount is for our use of OpenCV, which we use not only to align to the CryptoBox, but we also have an algorithm developed to pick a glyph of a certain color. We, however, have left that out of our autonomous in the sake of preserving time. So really, if I actually can demonstrate, the autonomous program will basically highlight contours of a certain color, organize them by size, and then evaluate where we should aim to using error from one of those, I guess, a midpoint relative to the center of the screen. So that's that's all that that does essentially, and we find it to be especially useful in maintaining our consistency for autonomous. And then furthermore, there is another aspect of this use that we have more recently incorporated, which is just a nice visual confirmation for our drivers. If Andrew picks up the controller now and hits both stick buttons at the same time, you'll see it turns to red, which indicates a slow mode. And if he hits it again, it turns to green, which indicates a faster mode at full speed.
So that must really help you out as a driver when being able to tell what the robot state is. And I know on our robot, at least, we use LED feedback wherever we can to help us out. All right, you guys also have a really cool linear slide system. I mean, it looks like it's custom. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? And
Sure. So our relic slide is actually quite long, so it's a little bit under 8 feet, which allows us to grab the far relic from the near crypto box without impeding our partner whatsoever. So these slides are actually custom made out of 1-inch square tubing, and we CNC'd slots in them, and we use axles and shaft collars to hold them together, and there's actually no bearings on them. So we actually use metal on metal and put graphite dust in as a lubricant and a little bit of WD-40 as well.
That's really, really cool. I think that it's awesome. A lot of teams use the rev slides, and to be able to make custom slides is an awesome creation. And now, do you guys want to tell us a little bit about your glyph mechanism? You have a really fast glyph mechanism. That's how you got to be the number 4 seed. And I think that everybody could learn a little bit from the custom design and the different innovative techniques that you use.
Okay.
Both of you, whatever you want.
So we have a really unique glyph mechanism in that it utilizes robust design while still being very compact. So, Andrew, if you flip up and raise the lift, you can see that we have a very unique housing here, which we have a servo on this side of the robot connected to a belt on the outer housing to do the flipping action with the linear slide. And then there's a torsion spring over on the inside of the robot here, which allows us to offload some of the weight from the servo in order to be able to put more material on this to keep it strong, but still be able to flip fast in a match. And then on this side, to run the actual lift, we have a rev motor connected to a large pulley going down to the quarter-inch axle that goes all the way through the middle of the housing. And this allows us to be very fast and also keeps our robot running all throughout competitions.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the intake mechanism that you have?
Sure, I can do that.
Yep.
So we custom designed this intake. It's got 20s on top, and it transfers power to the wheels via these bevel gears. Typically, bevel gears are kind of a pain, but we pinned both of these and lubed them up with a lot of gear grease, and we haven't seen them shed any flakes since we did so. So the collection's kind of interesting. It's fusion in between sophisticated hardware and sophisticated software, and basically we have this auto jam algorithm. So we use the encoder sensors on the motors to see when one's seized up, and if you'll notice, when Tassos was putting the glyph in at a 45, one of the motors would reverse and the other one would go forwards to try to align it and bring it in, like it just did. And it helps a lot. It's a lot faster than a driver could ever do it. So adding those autonomous elements to simplify for the driver is one of the things that gives us an edge, specifically with our collecting.
That's really innovative. I think that you guys have an awesome robot. You're able to combine both design, innovation, and control all into one awesome piece of hardware. Thank you for interviewing with me. I'm Ishan from FTC Live, signing off.